All right, we're back.
All right.
So we're gonna move on away from this and come back to it tomorrow. Before we do that, how late you folks want to go this afternoon? You want to do 3, 4, or?
3 o'clock.
I heard him, there's one put for 3.
Driving you.
I kinda like that
Just
myself.
remember, you got right smart, do more now.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, everybody
Just,
just one.
how about let's go 3:30? Will you go 3:30? 30 minutes. Just a little extra today.
And what time we coming back tomorrow?
Noon.
Oh, noon.
Yeah.
But you're gonna eat
With
lunch,
lunch.
basically 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Bless you.
And we're bringing chocolate in
Yeah.
right now.
Anybody gets 2 more questions?
If you make it through the general fund, the rest of it, we've kind of been through.
Everybody gets only 2 questions. We're limited to 2 questions.
But we can, we can touch on each
You
one
can
of
have
the
mine, too.
funds, but a lot of them, I've kind of hit the highlights on them already.
It looks like we got the same question on.
When Dr. Raymore came to the school system in '92, he brought in a full package of staff development.
one? About sneakers in.
Brett Long was a professional person to come in and do it. Dr. Rojas maintained strictly about 5 or 6 years. And that was also included after Dr. Raymore left. The school system has not gotten a comprehensive staff development program since then. They're still using the same one. But at one time, everybody got to it. Everybody went to it. If there's any downfall in education today, it's the lack of staff development. You can't over-provide it, Geraldine. You cannot over-provide staff development because you never get enough of it. So that's why people keep churning. That's my speech. So we don't have to talk about professional development anymore.
All right. Do y'all want to do the jail or save that for tomorrow?
Well, I got some questions you might can answer now and not need them in presence tomorrow.
All right.
What would be the difference between a uniform allowance, number 130, and 212 uniforms?
Is that on the sheriff's or jail?
Detention
Jail.
center.
He's on the detention center. Well, the 130 is the uniform allowances. That's where some people get uniform allowances, not uniform. And what's the regular uniform? 212? That's everybody else.
So to go back to the sheriff then, does he have a 130?
He should, and that would be the detective.
So who in the jail would get a uniform allowance that wouldn't be wearing uniform?
I don't think Fane and Robert wear full uniforms. You've seen the uniforms that the jailers wear, haven't you? It's a full uniform.
So they're wearing the polos and BDUs?
Right, right.
Gotcha. Then I have a question on 193, the medical. Is that going up because of the additional sites?
Yeah,
Now, do we bid that professional service out?
yeah, we're with, what is it, Southern Medical? Something like that.
When's the last time we bid it out?
I think 3 years ago. something like that.
Well, now that we're at $500,000, it's time to bid it out. $500,000.
Because you would think Wayne Memorial, if they've got a wellness program, they certainly ought to be able to help us here too.
I would think so.
What number?
We are at 193. I mean, $500,000?
Should let that candy alone.
I mean, think about that for a minute.
Oh, I know, it's $500,000, I got it.
But we only have 300 prisoners, and you're paying them $500,000.
Yeah, but they're rotating in and out of there. We don't have just 300.
I understand, but I mean,
Well, what I'm saying
the
is
head
they're not-
count is the same just about every
The head
day.
count is the same, but the heads change.
He is a different.
I understand,
Okay.
but $500,000.
Shouldn't be, no.
That's a lot of money. $12 for 2. For 8 months, it was only 12. But we're going to budget dollars and over.
But I think,
This looks like here.
no, they're using what they had used in previous years.
Okay, so they pulled it out of the air.
No, so, make a note of that.
Charge to professionals at 190 and 1560 for that. They had hired.
Specialized, not under.
Okay. Really is interesting. On 399, on the food, 2,000.
Because this year, he took it way up. There's some people in, at least.
Well, that brings up the next question. What can we do
We're doing-
with 10 prisoners?
No, I'm talking about as far as what I've estimated in here, and that's a discussion, I think, 50 for the, consider,
I mean, that was the whole goal.
Right.
And that is to
that's right,
have that revenue coming in, and we're not having the revenue coming in.
yeah. Well, that's why I think you need to have
We
that.
only got 10, so
We've got
has
a push to bring that revenue
That's what I'm
stream
saying, you
in
need
here.
to have a talk about that.
Okay.
So can we look at two,
Okay, you want the detail behind that?
please?
Okay, handheld metal detectors, stun cuffs, replacement batteries, office furniture, food carts, and other facility supplies. Write down all of that, so I'm not sure how much.
So what kind of furniture?
This is for, I'm not sure, donations to, that's what.
Still make an awful lot of.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, you got that technology which is gonna be moving in, did the same thing.
Okay,
520.
goose egg.
I'm sorry, 10.
Okay,
Fingerprint scanner. What we approved. And track live,
6,000.
they wear out after a while.
Wait a minute, we just,
You got it.
that's in the
Two leg,
Lost approved.
else.
$5,000.
$1,000 worth of dishwasher. Oh, I sure approve, okay. So that is, do you have any,
but I may tell you wrong, so I'm gonna wait and tell you.
but it's a mofo
More
scanner.
scan, live scan station.
Or mofo live scan. Is that kind of like a scan the whole body?
No, I think that, is that the identification?
Please add that to your list that we need to ask what that is.
Scanning.
Fingerprint scanning, that's what it is. Yeah. I do.
just the inmates accommodate the main. That's just.
Good to Jay? All right. Changes, if you look at this 459, is rental of equipment, and because she's going to use more, but also hospitalization. All right, SR, Governor's Highway Safety and SROs, I'm going to skip for tomorrow and talk about that. We got losses of 1,000. 911 telephone, this is the operations side. 911, that's where we restrict, this is.
Budget, when we get the new 911 center built for that, is
So, because I don't think I think you're.
construction, but not long.
That's
61.
No.
Radio, do you want?
Sure.
A radio, 30 Harris, 500, 30 microwave control cards, spare gel repeater, 20 clock, and ready 1,000.
One out of one.
The last one's radio replacements?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Did we,
more like a contingency if they lose them. The price on ours, they should lose them.
I think VFIS has got that covered pretty well in their
We
insurance.
hope they, but problems, get a breakdown. Joe, I think, I don't know that that's one too.
Well, as long as you
Yeah.
got coverage, you have escalated
Yeah,
premium.
escalate premium on it.
here's my concern. We had 12, while all of us budget things and all of that, take the 100%.
There's more than just the radios in there. There were other things in there.
But the big item,
Yeah, we'll with you about it.
Talking in and out of buildings.
Yeah, everything's good.
yeah, we just
Yeah,
bought the
everything's
radio.
good.
Upgrade. I'm an old
Time
man,
flies,
time
yeah.
flies. 2 years.
Okay, what else on this one?
You got 440 service and maintenance of contracts, evidently that's on the radio system with Was it Service International?
Yeah, and he's itemized that. Do you want to read off what all that?
Which
No,
one-
if that's
where's
what it
that at
is,
now?
it's the big one,
He's talking
440.
about 440. That's gone up about $1,000.
Okay.
But it's an itemized list of all the things we have to run the radio system and the 911.
All right.
Does that include any radios?
No,
Is
no
that
new
just
ones.
nine- that's just-
Go ahead and read that off.
Okay. Antenna rental, Waynesboro House, 2,200. Tower space rental, 2 locations, 19,200.
Whoa, 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 what was that again?
We rent 2 towers.
From who?
They're 2 cell phone companies.
US
Cell phone.
USL and,
okay.
what's the one in Fremont? Was it USL or Time?
Both of them US.
About 10,000 a year.
You get ICE radio software, radio maintenance hour and sites, contract, $86. It's $70. What the-
So those are ongoing expenses for all of that.
The two tower sites that we're renting, looking at, I mean, is that?
Well, he put in, that's the thing, because those,
Well, my,
right,
120,
more than that. If you look, managed, in the tower site, $1 million. And Springs is, so, in fund. I'm not, but that's, and discuss.
need to.
So we can get,
You see that, see what CIP?
that is under emergency management. I was 2022, but I'm not necessarily saying you're gonna do them, that's just, I'd push them out until you study it more, what's the best. And with Wayne Tower, as long as you know, if you're paying about $10,000 a year on each one, if this, even the small one at Seven Springs, I mean, it would take you 34 years to get your money back. So, and
Smelled, because I've got all of the year in it.
anybody, emergency service, I think, yeah, $6,000, y'all already voted it there because that's where the use, it would have worked in management.
There should be.
Well, y'all, this is what you voted final.
$0,000. Do you, I mean, it's
No.
give it to them.
apples from Claremont.
Yeah, we'll have
I
Brian.
mean, I don't have any, but I just, that much money.
To 5 was $1 million. $1,000 million.
1.148. Oh, yeah.
But you know good for $1 million.
I'm just saying, what,
Oh, just-
Is, in for overlooking it, it's a maintenance contract,
I reckon it'd be under 440.
maintenance, well,
Service and maintenance
maintenance and
contract.
repair
well,
of
I
equipment,
think,
that'd be
Wayne, I think a lot of
352.
the, radio stuff, no, that was for 911, excuse me. Let's see. It's in here, but I'm not sure where he's got it.
Wasn't that under 4325? 110, 4325? Radio system, FX software, maintenance contract.
Uh,
I think what he's referring to is the actual handheld.
And the reason I'm asking is because this radio equipment is about 2 years old and the warranty is fixing to run out, or done run out on part of it.
Well, Wayne, he's got under 440, he's got service and maintenance contracts. So that may be where it's at.
25 minutes to go.
Okay.
We can finish in 25 minutes to hurry up.
Difference.
There,
No.
aspire to research, should be.
Get that. Bottom, and we make.
What it is,
It's
mandate.
pretty much- I mean, if you don't, you
Then let
don't
the
want to
place
not
burn.
have the forestry service here.
It's just another one of those things that got pushed down to us from the state
And the-
years ago.
And I will give them credit, they respond in
Right.
a whole lot more proactive than they were 15, 20 years ago. I mean, you could call them 20 years ago and you may see them today, or it might be next week, but I mean, they're pretty much Johnny on the spot now.
Okay, this next one is inspections. Not a lot of changes there. In fact, I don't see any major changes on inspections.
The only question I have on that is, for some time, we've talked about a new software package.
All right, let me
For
give
inspection.
you an update on that.
Okay.
Okay, they put in, for some of that, we already have some money in this year's budget. It is not gonna be enough. Craig and I had a meeting with, our planning director and also his assistant. So Chip has been handling that, looking into it for everybody. They found what they want, but it's extremely expensive. And so I have not put it in this year's budget. I think we decided we were gonna hold off for one more year and study it further. This software is anywhere from 60,000 to the one we want is about 238,000. Oh, yeah.
Well, look, tell them to pick another software package.
Well,
I mean, my God.
I said we studied it, so we're not gonna do anything this year with it.
I'm telling you, the builders have waited 5 years for a used
We're going to demonstration set up for you. And we may have to go to some other counties, but we want you to see what the different ones do. Because there's a huge qualitative difference in what they're
There it
doing.
is, true.
So I think the best thing to do is kind of like what we've done with the jail and the MRAC and all that is let's get in the car, go look at a few. And we'll have them show you the one they want and then some of the cheaper price models so you can look at that and see what they do and don't do.
And I think, George, there was money in this year's budget for it, so there's money in next year's budget that will be allocated to that. And then we'll try to put that in the CIP as well for next year.
So you are
Putting
budgeting.
something to be a part of this, but I'm telling you, there's also a large cost for the ongoing and all of that stuff.
I bet 60,000.
Yeah, was pretty high. So I'm just saying, I think y'all need to go visit some places in the fall, look at it. They've done a lot of work. Chip and Julio have done a lot of work in researching this. One of the things I suggested they do was call around to other counties, find out who they use, and so they have done that. And they've looked pretty much at all of them. And I think it was 11 or 12 they looked at.
New Hanover just is installing it now, this brand of it. And I think Wayne County as well went with it.
So,
They're flush with cash, though. They can spend that kind of money, but, okay.
well, anyway, I'm just telling you, what we thought it would be and what it's turned out to be is two different things.
All right.
So-
But Chip's looking into it.
Yeah, and so basically for this year, we're saying let's punt this one
All right, punt.
and do some more investigation on it. All right, so basically they're up about $7,000. I think the bulk of that is, capital outlay equipment is going from 19,800 to 25,000. But capital vehicles has gone down by 22,000. So, it's kind of a wash. Next thing is medical exam that we, them up, for 32, but what if sending autopsy? An autopsy,
That our only,
I mean, what, where you need,
it is?
yeah, it's every, because yours, we send it up.
Cost on
And I can't say more control, for a, and more, and the caps for 62, 1,000, they asked for,
And $400 capture, sequel capture, the $4,100, for just $40, $40. That one.
Guys, they're on.
Anyway,
this one went 7,640, so we, you mentioned,
Why do they need?
I think that's,
We, been ready.
yeah, it was out. There's,
bad because it go to whatever you think, the sheriff's department, but they don't use, all of the sheriff, what, enforcement is good in some, zone and David, and like we're at Craig is with Scott contract. We have, we, numbers were read about cost for us.
About being safe, be wipe of a police them and concern in the morning,
Into a bank.
but so that.
Can I get,
Animal.
That went up.
Yeah, that one.
was 112, DD was 400. Not sure.
If you want it, gentlemen.
Full.
Okay, That is $1,000
Call now.
If you fix it.
Just service and maintenance contract.
On fi-
29 and Fox, 8,000.
Quest stock.
Saying, just take somewhere, so they feel like they need a trailer.
How would that be?
Well, that, again,
That's it. More, it kindles his trail.
yeah, I don't even look, talk to Mel about that.
Back to
That's fine.
the refrigerator. We just air conditioned.
And, no.
How much ago, man?
They're gonna come.
I don't
What vehicle is he getting? Or she? Taco.
know.
What now?
F-250.
An F2 Ford? What?
Some stuff.
Ain't gonna get that, so they don't.
Well,
Why?
from in the truck. They carry a lot of stuff. You've got the rifle that you use to deaden them with. You've got poles and things like that.
I'm not,
That's making.
in the cab.
No, in the trailer.
Well,
What
they could-
size, I mean, is it?
They ain't
Is
getting
it goat?
We've had several where
Okay.
All that.
Yeah, and what I'm, but won't gotta have a lot. Someone's $100. Is it an, it seems, we now, and it just really does concern me. But anyway, let's go. Do we need a trailer? Sure. But how often do we need the trailer? We probably had to go out there and get one horse during the last 2 years, but we need a trailer.
But let me ask this question.
Let's borrow the trailer. Let's rent the trailer.
The trailer you're talking about that Kevin had, is that the ones parked down there in the parking lot of the,
4%. Oh, I don't know.
in the,
I'm not sure.
those don't. I thought those may have been for little, I saw those. but
Little
I-
sheep.
Yeah.
Some cows. Some cattle.
We got small house around here.
And those, I got several trailers myself, and those look sort of small and, you need.
Livestock trailer.
Well, let's let them answer that one.
Yeah,
let's move on.
let's move on. Time to get home.
Those do look like this.
Right.
Those trailers might need some improvement, guys. If I'm thinking about the right trailer.
Oh, they would.
Oh.
Facility can do that.
All right, what do you want to go?
That was law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
Excuse me.
That's probably what, we just have to pay that, don't we?
Well, we ain't got no choice on this one, probably.
This is the law enforcement officer.
This is the ones that was, this was the fund that was moved from, it used to be Fund 783, a separate, fund, and it's been moved to Fund 110. This is the payments that they receive, when they retire until they reach, I believe it's age 62, yeah, that sounds, they're entitled to these benefit payments, and we've had some additional retirements, this year, so, in fact, I think we've done a budget amendment for this year, so.
Yeah, man.
Probably a lot of them now is 62 and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Keep moving it up.
Transportation.
All right, transportation. All he's asked for there basically is the 27,564, and that's our lease payments on the 10-year agreement with the city. And then 1502, that's basically the subsidy to run the thing. So if you look at the history of this has come down dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
So everything's good there. Mount Olive, I kept the same amount we've been given, 33,281. Okay, on planning,
Oh, sorry, man.
Next.
okay, on planning, let's see, the bottom line on that, that actually went down. And the reason it went down is last year, we made the $60,000 payment to the city when we gave them the old senior center. Y'all remember that? We gave them the center and gave them $60,000 towards the repair of the roof.
Money well spent.
So, yeah, so basically that's there.
So the city now does officially own that building.
They own the building,
Okay.
and they also own the building where Dave Reporting Center was, because that's part of it. So we got rid of all of that. Okay, WCDF is next.
I do have one question there. 630.001.
That's the, okay, you asked us to put in for development of Ryan property.
I'll try it, Rob.
Okay.
You
I went to
lost
Crystal,
me.
and what we're talking about, you know, you would need a fairly decent sign there, and you would need, you know, some of the road going in there and all of that.
Okay.
And some engineering work for is to use 200,000 of their money, 150 of ours, that gives us 350. So
Okay.
that's where that came from.
Gotcha.
And her board has agreed to do that, by the way. Okay. This is the amount that we pay our two lobbyists that we have, one at the state, one at the federal level. You'll notice it went down dramatically. In 16, we were up, changed consultants, y'all remember, we went with the one the state's using. And so we cut that dramatically, and our share is 61.5. The city shares the same amount. So together, we're paying 123,000. All right, cooperative extension. Does anybody have any questions on those? That is a on the, we're going to where the unit down, got the property there, and it would fence that. We can get that from Kevin.
And it seemed like you just wanted to let them in.
Fairly will need stuff in there.
93, 95.
Yeah, is that within there, so they pay them. That's why it doesn't show up in salaries and wages. Then they bill us for the amount we're supposed to pay under the MOU, and we pay it out of that line item.
So $455,000 worth of salaries
Yeah, you
is
got.
our share.
Yes, and it's probably double that for the university. I think the split is probably around 33 or 40%. It's somewhere in that, and they pay 60 to 67.
It's getting worse over the years.
It's got more.
Yeah. The state keeps pushing it.
You don't know how many employees that is, do you?
I don't off the top of my
Eight
head,
or
but we can
10.
get it for you. It's in their list.
We need to know that.
But that MOU has been the same for years and years and years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next thing is soil conservation. See what I had there. I put down basically there were no major changes there. It's 230,000 this year, it's 228 next year. There's no capital outlay. Everybody all right with that?
That actually went down.
All right, they have a second one called Soil and Water Conservation Fund. This is just a little bit of money they get to spend on this, and it's primarily for promotions, as you can see. And then rental of equipment, advertising was cut a little bit, and then gas, oil, and tires was cut. So they stay within the 65-14 they're going to get. All right, any questions on that? All right, mental health, this is East Point. They asked for $187,969, and I gave them the family drug court, which we've been doing, which is $42,000. And we're still waiting to see whether they're going to get approved for that merger or not. Any questions on that?
Did they give a breakout of what they wanted that 187 for?
No.
Yeah.
Well, we asked them, you explain it.
Yeah, they listed what they'd like to have. What Bill and I and Joe asked for when we met with the new CEO and the old CEO together was, we said, we would like to see a breakdown of what are the required services that East Point provides, or going forward with this Cardinal, what do they provide? And then what we wanted was a second section of that to put what are the optional services And I wanted it for each county of the 12 counties in East Point. What do they provide? And the dollar figure. And we have yet, and they said, well, that's good and all that, but we haven't seen that.
We've asked for that for how many years?
2 at least.
And they still, they say, oh yeah, we're gonna get to you.
Well, my question was that they sent something, that they said they wanted to use it. So I know what you said. I think I heard you say you told them to, provide you with what, the break?
We have
It's
that.
in the outside agency book.
Yeah, it's in the outside agency.
It's a wish list.
That's all I want, I was trying to read.
Okay.
I know it. I wasn't gonna make it for most of the time. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay, the next one is Human Services and County Aid. Wayne Uplift Resources, we kept the same. Nutrition for the Elderly, the same. Watch, we took up 5,000 to 170, and while they asked for 220 when we got through, they were fine with the 170. Okay, let's see, what's the next one? Wages for foster grandparents stayed the same. Project graduation, that's also communities and schools, and that's 130, we left. They asked to go up, they asked to give them back the 3% we had cut, and that's the one I did recommend you take back up. And then you had the 4-day movement, which asked for 7,400, they've never asked for money before. I did not fund them. So basically, that's where you're at on that one. The thing that's different from last year is not really a savings. That's the first line, which is HCCBG wages. That's a grant. All we're doing is wait until we see what the grant is, and we'll do a budget amendment. So this budget will be basically in line with what it is this year, when you get through getting that grant. Okay, veterans.
So much change there.
Yeah, it doesn't have any major changes. It's pretty much what it was. You know, she had the increase in hospitalization, and that's the primary difference right there. Anybody got any questions on that? Now, I think that's it on that one.
I know a couple of years ago, we were having some issues with that office. Everything's smoothed out now, everything's running smooth.
We think everything's going very well now. The feedback we get right now is pretty positive.
Okay, good.
Bill, anything you want to add to that?
Well, you know, we had someone left, so we had a replacement that's getting acclimated to
Right.
that particular office.
Right.
And I think we've got that under control, I think.
But I can't say enough for the new director. I think she's done a great job.
Brenda's does.
1,000 higher, primarily due to extra help, hospitalization insurance, and capital outlay equipment. You gotta give a list. Oh, I do. I buried it. Let me see what she's at. Well, it's not in salaries. Let's see what it is. She's got 30,000 in capital outlay. You want to go over that?
What number is that?
Capital outlay
510.
is 510.
That's for audio, video, equipment.
Yeah.
reading.
She's been asking for this for 3 years, and every year I cut it. But basically what it is to improve the audio, replace the audio-visual equipment in that community meeting room. She says it's just totally undependable now. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's what she wants to get replaced.
$30,000.
Well, don't you think that's a little high? I mean, 30 grand?
Well, we'll be happy to bring her in and go over what exactly she's wanting on that.
Well, also, this year, in item 263, library materials, we actually had, for the 16-17 budget, 170. She bumped that up to 230.
Well, it's at 220 is the current appropriation. We bumped it up 10,000.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. I was looking at the 170.
And I bumped that up, Joe, just to get it back up where it had been, which was the 230, 185 in previous years.
How about 352? Maintenance spares equipment.
352, managed spares equipment.
807,000.
Yeah, you want to go over that?
Equipment repairs and computer maintenance for 6,000, maintenance and repair for library, furniture, equipment, 1,000.
You said 6,000 computers?
It says equipment repairs and computer maintenance, 6,000.
Well, I'm trying to figure out where the $100,000 came from. I see 30.
And there's
And then there's a 10 there, there's 40.
6,200 there.
And can you,
It's kind of spread out.
262,
Okay, 8 software license renewals, 18,100. 3 color printers, 2,900. 3 replacement scanners, 2,600. And other digital items, 4,250.
what's the other visual items?
Digital items, other digital items, I'm assuming it must be like some miscellaneous computer equipment that they feel like they need, but she doesn't have the detail.
Could we have it detailed?
Okay, Joe, and look at this, 45,000 of it is hospitalization. I mean, 35,000.
It's spread out.
And then in 126, it's a kind of rather large jump.
Yeah, the extra help.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I would suggest is we let her come in and talk about that, because I felt it was legitimate, but I honestly don't recall exactly. So let's have her come in on that.
And the last question I have is 122 overtime. What would necessitate overtime?
Well, I mean, it could be a combination of things. The most likely would be if you have a limited staff and somebody's out, you're gonna have to bring somebody in. Like in Pikeville, we have one person basically, and she rotates, because she's at Pikeville in the morning, Fremont in the afternoon. So like if she was out, you'd have to bring somebody in and pay them overtime to cover that.
But wouldn't that be extra help?
It could be. No, I think the extra help is something different, but we'll have her explain them, because those go hand in hand.
The very last figure, almost $2.2 million for the library. And that's mind-boggling.
Well, basically you've got, I would call it the equivalent of 3 branches, because the Pikeville and Fremont to me are kind of like one branch, because you use the same staff.
But we have seen for years, I'm the bad guy here, where it appears as if the salaries for library assistants, anything associated with the library seems to be higher than in other areas. And I don't understand that.
Culture is expensive.
Well, just because you work at a library doesn't make you more valuable of an employee versus
Well, I don't know that they are. I mean, you got some that are, but remember, some of those have a master's degree in library science. And some of that's required by the state.
Culture is expensive.
I'm just saying, my perception is it appears that way when I see it.
Me and you on the same page, because I can't, a police officer can get out here and walk the streets and make $13.50 an hour. When he gets off, he can go put his clothes on, go to the library and make $20 an hour.
Is that a fact? Geraldine, do you know that?
We do pay, we pay our security both for the Mount Olive Police Department and the Goldsboro Police Department, $20 an hour.
Why?
You're not a private, you're not using private security, you're using county and city.
Using city police.
City.
Of Mount Olive.
Because that's what they
Police
charge if they go to cover a ball game or anything else, that's what we charge.
I'm not questioning that part, I just.
But see, that guy, what Wayne's talking about is what his salary may be, you gotta pay all the benefits too. So they're charging $20 an hour. And we've had to switch doing more and more using deputies instead of Goldsboro Police because they're down so many people. You know, they're not available. They're working overtime for the police department.
But is in the employees of the library itself, librarians and so forth, Geraldine, I'm gonna ask you because you're the HR manager, is there a difference between, is it higher pay than other positions in the county that may be of the same level, if you would?
It depends on the position. Now, as you said, you've got reference librarians, you are paying for a master's degree. If you've got library assistants, usually we're looking, and you've got different levels of library assistants. You've got 1, 2s, and 3s. And if you're looking at a library assistant 3, you're definitely looking for someone with a bachelor's degree. Library 2, there are various levels within the library.
Just to toss this in, librarian/media coordinators, they help people do research. And the college students are going in there doing homework, and some of the other occupations that you may have alluded to, it's a dangerous occupation carrying a gun, but they're not really helping anyone doing the research or finding information that calls for a master's degree. So, you know, these folks have that kind of training and that kind of education.
I'll open that kind of words and I'll shut it.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
are we ready to pause?
Well, we moved so quickly, can we go to 4?
I need to be in my office.
All right, you can leave. You want us to quit on your behalf?
Sir.
You want us to quit on your behalf?
No,
Well,
if we'll get to
no.
them quicker if we do it like this.
You can keep on going.
So we
No,
just,
I'm the one that needs to leave.
I'm sorry, I got it.
I can
I
understand.
got it.
well, the truth is, when you come back tomorrow, you've almost gone through the whole general fund. A lot of these other funds,
Don't take long.
I don't think they'll take as long.
Okay, we can get through that.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll recess if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, can we just leave our stuff in here?
Till noon.
I'm not gonna drag it up now.
Till noon tomorrow, is that what we agree
The
upon?
elevator no more.
Well,